Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another counter side video. Alright, today's video is going to be about side story in particular. So I'm sure all of you guys have watched my previous video about the priorities in farming, right? So in terms of farming priority, that one is the go-to guide, but one thing that I didn't mention in that particular video is side story. So side story is something that you should also do every single day, but I feel like they are not as important as the dailies. Alright, so obviously I did listed down a number of stages like farming infos, farming binaries, farming credits. Those are going to be much more important early on going forward. So once you have cleared all of those things, once you start having more and more of those things, like I think in 1 month or 2 months playing, info shouldn't be that much of an issue anymore moving forward. So here's the thing. Side story is something that you want to start farming as soon as you can as well, because it's going to give you characters shard that you can basically convert to full characters as well. So if you guys are not aware, there are some SSR that you can farm. For example, Orca right here, that you can actually farm. Like if you miss the event, I think global players all will be able to get 1 free Orca, alright, during the quest, new missions, right? I'm not sure if that will be removed later on, but if you somehow missed it, you will be able to farm some Orca shards, which you can convert to a full character. So let's talk about priority in terms of farming. Which one should you always prioritize? So I'm going to talk about each and every one of these and hopefully give you guys a proper idea on which characters you want. Ideally, alright, the ideal case is you want to have every single one of these characters. So this one, you can farm Heal Day. You're going to have Heal Day for free. So if you don't want her, it's fine. You can still farm more to try and use those to basically 110 her. So instead of using Fusion Core, you can try and do those. That could be something that you can consider if you're trying to 110 your regular Heal Day, the SR Heal Day. Now in terms of Orca and AD feature, alright, you can only obtain them from here. You can never pull an Orca, you can never pull an AD feature. Now AD feature is really strong. Now keep in mind this guy is a soldier, but he's also constantly getting a buff or getting up in PvP as well based on the C server experience, right? And he's one of the best buffers in the game right now. If you don't have any other better buffers early on. So why is he so good is if you notice this particular skill right here, increase surrounding soldiers attack by 10%, that's the passive skill. That one is whatever, right? Soldiers damage resistance plus 10% added to the buff. But what makes it strong is the other passive skill. He has 2 passive skills being a soldier. So the other one, increase surrounding counters damage resistance by 10% and also increase counters attack by 10%. So this is insane. In terms of the buffing all the characters, especially early on, you might not have much red characters. Later on, maybe Sioyun or maybe Maria will replace this guy. But Eddie Fisher is going to be your go-to in terms of buffing your red units, right? So if you're trying to stack up red as much damage as you can, because there's a lot of characters that will get the buffs, hopefully this is the priority of the passive skill, the second one. So make sure you guys get 1 copy of him. He's very good in there. So Orca, she will get a re-arm later on. So this is something that I want global players to start doing. You will need plenty of her unit data. Alright, you will need plenty of it. So if you can, start farming as many Orca as you can. So like I mentioned, once you farm the characters, right, if you have 120 pieces of them, 120 copies of them, you can go to the CEO office right here and you can scout the particular piece. For example, right now I have more than enough to scout an Orca. But my Orca is already 110, so I shouldn't do this. I should save some of this for unit data as well. So unit data is something that Re-arm will use. So this is a Re-arm Eugene. As you can see, if I want to skill her up in some of these skills, Re-arm will come later on in global. This is not something that you will need to concern yourself for now, but I would say it's not a bad idea to start, you know, farming some of these shards because you're going to need them later on. The thing with Re-arm is it allows you to skill up your character skill to level 10. Alright, so like level 5 now should be max for global characters, right? But once Re-arm comes, some characters will get Re-arm and you can skill them up to level 10. So from level 5 to level 10, you're going to need their unit data. So this particular piece, as you can see, I'm going to need 2 pieces for every level. So you need quite a number of unit data as well. So try and get as many as you can, especially for Orca right here. You can basically start farming her and try to get her to 110. Right now, the 2 characters in the side story that's confirmed to have Re-arm is Orca and Kang Soyoung. So these 2 you should farm every day. I think this should be a priority. You know, it's something that you can just straight up prepare for. Try and get them to 110 if you can without using Fusion Core, because you can keep farming the stage. If you start right now in global, by the time when the Re-arm comes, maybe you can 110 them if you farm every single day. if you just use the character that you obtain rather than wasting your fusion core. Now, moving on, John Mason and Jane Doe. I strongly believe these two characters cannot be obtained as well in the in pools. Now, Jane Doe she's kind of niche. She will be replaced later somewhat by Veronica, but I think she's still really strong in soldier teams. If you don't have much characters and you plan to build soldier team, she could be your best striker. So let's have a look at Jane Doe's abilities, give you guys an idea. As you can see, she has evasion by 100% for 14 seconds when you deploy her, and she has attack speed plus 30% and also attack speed plus 30% for passive buff, which is just insane. Alright, she has a lot of attack speed. So if you go to the special skill, this is her only special skill. She has like one skill that's active, right? So this one will just deal active damage, AoE damage and stuff. And the last passive skill, she has one more right here because she's a soldier. Most soldiers have two passive skill. You can see that she has this ability that will always inflict crit damage for every second basic attack. So in terms of Gaeyun and Kawong, they have like every third basic attack they will deal enhanced damage. Jane Doe, every second basic attack she will deliver enhanced attack that inflicts AoE damage and will also always crit. So crit damage is not too bad for her as well. You can go attack speed, you can go crit damage. If you want to make her tanky, you can go evasion. She's very flexible for a soldier kind of striker, right? And also, I think she's one of the best character in terms of design in the game as well. So John Mason. Now John Mason is also a soldier, but don't get it twisted. He is seldom used in a soldier team. He's much more of a mech team kind of guy because of his ability to buff mechs. Alright, so he's like Ironside. Ironside is also a soldier, but Ironside heals mechs. A little bit different, right? So in terms of John Mason's skill, you can see he has the ability to summon CO, which is really interesting. Alright, basically he summons a drone, and that drone summons CO after 35 seconds from its creation, which is kind of cool, right? And he can seals skill. Something that you eventually might want to get is he's very good in terms of sealing skill. Later, once the consortium raids comes, John Mason is going to be very useful right there. John Mason alongside with Mona, which Global do not have yet, because a lot of characters have the ability to seal skill, but if you notice, if you read them, for example like Chifuyu's skill, let me see if I can show you. Like Chifuyu's seal skill, it mentions exactly that bosses and ships are not affected. She does seals everyone except for bosses and ships. But John Mason's one is going to affect everyone. So John Mason has the best seal skill in the game. So make sure you guys build a John Mason or try to get at least one copy. He's just that useful. Alright, seal skill, 8 seconds, meaning the enemies cannot cast their skill. There's also instances where I see John Mason, seal skill and A Hilde, and A Hilde cannot cast the barrier and she just dies in that 8 seconds. I've seen that before happen in my eyes. And the last skill, right, you can see increase all max attack by 10% and also max defense penetration plus 10% added to the passive buff. So yeah, John Mason and Jane Doe, I would prioritize them as the second priority in my opinion after Kang and Orca because they are getting re-arm first, right? And then moving on, this one I think is just a Shiyun. Yeah, for this one it's just a Ju Shiyun, and I think most of people already have one copy. Unless you want to make 110, I don't think you need to farm this per se. Now for the Stronghold and Kang Soyoung, I would highly recommend only farm the Kang Soyoung's one. The Stronghold one shouldn't be the priority unless you have a lot of Eternium. Like, I feel like for new players, this shouldn't... you're gonna run out of Eternium. There's a chance to get Kang Soyoung here as well, but the chance is very low. I wouldn't gamble it right here. Unless you really want Stronghold, you know, for the collection purposes, just get one copy and then just keep it, stash it away. Stronghold, I feel like he has fallen off a little bit. He's not used much anymore, to be honest. So in terms of usage, Stronghold might not be that useful. Now, Global has this extra particular one, this one right here, which gives you an ability to farm Eugene. Now, Eugene does get re-arm eventually. So that's something that you want to keep in mind as well. If you want to prepare for a re-arm, something that you can take advantage of right here, farm for Eugene's shards. This is not available on C server for whatever reason. It's kind of weird, right? And moving on into the last one, we have Jake and Maria. Now Jake you can obtain from pools. I do get a lot of copy from pools, so I don't think you need to worry about Jake too much. You'll get plenty of him from pools. But Maria, something that you also want to try and get. You can also get Maria from pools, right? Compared to John Mason and Jane Doe, which you can never get for pools. Which is why I feel like Maria should be the third priority. So I feel like Orca, Kang, number 1 priority. Number 2 is Jane Doe and John Mason because you can never get them from pools. And number 3 is Maria because Maria there's a chance sometimes whether you pull, you can pull other characters, and then she has a chance to spook you if you get like an off-banner character. Now, how strong is she? She's pretty strong. She's not weak by any means. It's just that it's hard to use her in PvP by default if she's not buff. Alright, if Maria is not buff, it's kind of hard to use her because of her high cost. She's a 5 cost tower unit. Alright, so being a 5 cost tower unit, you guys know, if you guys watched my Sigma video yesterday, tower units do fall off in the meta slightly later on. But what makes her good is mostly the buffs, alright? So this skill right here, increase attack by 10% for her and all allies, and later on, crit damage plus 20% will be added to the buff. This is an insane skill, similar to Artificer, insane in raids. Alright, in raids, this is something that you can get. The buffs you can benefit from easily because raids you use up to 50 characters. So having characters like this that gives buffs to everyone else, it's just something that you want to stack as much as you can. So what makes her strong is just mostly the passive skill. The ultimate skill is cool, it summons a bunch of characters, but other than that, it's mostly just much more of a PvP skill rather than a PvE one. Alright, so hopefully that gives you guys an idea on what to farm. I know not everyone has plenty of Eternium laying around, so this should be your farming priority in terms of the order that you are following. Try to get 1 copy of each if you can, and then start stacking those Orca and Kang Soyoung shards as much as you can. I've been doing that on my C server account as well, and I will start doing that on my global account as well, because those re-arm, you'll need plenty of unit datas. Okay, so that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, give this video a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.